Ladies and gentlemen, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. The current long range meta here in Warzone, pretty defined, but also very fun. We've got a bunch of different options in terms of how they feel, how they play. All of them, though, are some of the best options in the game for long range engagements. We're talking 40, 50, 60, 70 plus meters. These will have you competing regardless of the situation there, whether you're fighting rooftop to rooftop, across the map, across an open field, whatever the case is here, Resurgence, or obviously Verdansk. These guns for the long range absolutely dominate. And of course, we can't talk about the long range meta without first talking about the GOAT snipe in the game right now. The VS Recon, straightforward, insane velocity. You're going to be able to one shot over extreme distances here, and it's not going to take much to work on that bullet drop and bullet lead, especially when you land your shots and don't miss. Headshots on dummies in the firing range like me. Get your aim warmed up. You'll be good to go. This thing is a one-shot menace right now. Absolutely my go-to long-range sniper. So I will have all the build codes for each of these guns alongside the timestamp in the description. But first up here, I like the default scope. It's clean, it's easy to stay on target, so I stick with that. I do have monolithic suppressor. We don't care about the damage range here because it's got that infinite one shot. We care about the added velocity, and then obviously staying off the radar, and this will help out with each of those categories. We got the bullet velocity barrel for even better velocity. Then I go through and I stack overpressured ammo, which also adds better velocity. So we've got a 12-26 here. Like I said, the bullet drop, the bullet lead is going to be very straightforward. It's going to be easy to predict where you have to aim to correct on moving enemies or distant enemies. This thing is a very straightforward sniper, and it's also insanely easy to use at the same time. We got the quick draw rear grip helping out the ADS speed, and then the prestige attachment under barrel on here. The R-stop handguard also helps out the ADS speed, plus better control and sway when you're holding your breath, and better rechamber stabilization. We got a 585 ADS on the best long range sniper in the game. That's an insanely good combination. This thing dominates the sniper meta right now. Now, certainly in contention for my favorite weapon in the game, we've got the MXR-17. This thing is a fantastic long range choice. Pretty low recoil, all things considered. I think it's got really clean iron sights here as well. And especially if you can land upper body shots, I mean, you're set here. This thing is a beast. So here, like I said, big fan of the iron sights. They also change around depending on which barrel you're using, which is pretty cool. So if you like a different barrel better than just like the hybrid one like I'm running here, your iron sights will shift up a little bit. The long barrel, never a bad choice here. Even the mid-range, surprisingly, if you wanted to focus more on like just Resurgence gameplay, this could certainly be an option. If you wanted to go all in on control, where this thing would be a straight laser, you could go for the control barrel too. I personally think the hybrid works really well, though. I also got monolithic suppressor on here, so we're doubling up on the better range and the better velocity. 1127 velocity, that's fantastic. Overall hit scan range is looking good. 42 meter effective damage range and 73 meter mid range in there too. We got the lateral precision grip for the max horizontal control, just gonna make the pattern a lot more predictable overall there. The first extended mag here, a 45 rounder, works just fine at the 500 RPM. You're not gonna have to worry about burning through ammo or anything like that. And then recoil springs on here again, just for even more recoil control, with no cons here either. I think that's worth mentioning. So this thing is going to be pretty straightforward, but it's also going to hit like a truck. It's got one of the best TTKs in the entire game. Then we've got the Mirage. This is an interesting gun because really I wasn't a big fan of it at all in multiplayer, and it feels really good here in Warzone. It's going to be decently low recoil. Like the pattern here, there's a little bit of shake, and you can certainly counter more if you wanted to opt for more control based attachments, but it's going to be, all things considered, relatively low recoil, and in game it's got a pretty consistent TTK throughout. So here, first up, yet again, I am going for that lethal tools elo. Definitely my favorite sight in the entire game, but once more, if you like one more than this, feel free to switch over to that. Monolithic suppressor on here again for that better range, that better velocity. I also go for the control barrel. I just do want to maximize that recoil control, and this helps out with velocity too, which I really like. So 34 meter first effective damage range, not too bad, but that 69 meter mid range there is also going to be really solid. And we got a 1200 velocity on this thing, so it's going to be easy to land shots, and the bullet drop and bullet lead is going to be very predictable there. We got the recoil control hand stop yet again for that max horizontal control, and then extended mag one here, a 45 rounder, 606 RPM, so like a little faster than the MXR, but still not anything too concerning for only having 45 rounds. That'll be sufficient in basically every squad size there. This thing is definitely one that maybe takes a little bit more getting used to. You got to learn where the pattern kind of jumps, but it can hold its own, especially in the long range, very nicely. And by the way, as we are going through all the weapons, all the setups here today, if you guys enjoyed the video, you find the information helpful, do me a favor, drop a like on it. It's always seriously appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, you want to ensure you're always in the know for everything going on in COD, news, updates, patch notes, meta breakdowns. It's all right here, so feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. Next up, we got the heavy hitting behemoth, the MK78. This thing's a little bit slower. It's a little bit heavier. It's an LMG, duh, but it packs a punch over range. It's also relatively low recoil, especially with this setup on here. Really solid, really easy long range choice. So here, I know to everyone's surprise, I am yet again rocking that Lethal Tools Elo. It's just a clean optic. It gets the job done. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they say. Monolithic suppressor for that better range and velocity. I also go for the control barrel here for the better control. Really makes this thing a laser beam-esque weapon, and then the better velocity as well. So we got a 1255 velocity, incredible hit scan range, 45 meter effective damage range, and a 76 meter mid range there. Has you covered basically everywhere. I also go for the ADS movement stock just because, yes, this is an LMG. It's heavy, it's slow. If I can get any kind of mobility back without needing to always run an extended mag or always run an underbarrel of some kind, if the gun's relatively easy, I want to get that mobility back. So better strafe, better ADS definitely pays off here. And then recoil springs, free recoil control, horizontal and vertical, just makes the gun even easier, even more accurate over long range. So this thing is low recoil, it's straightforward. Yes, it's a little bit slow, it's a little bit heavy, but it hits and it feels fantastic. The Maverick's another solid choice here, very low recoil. Obviously this is an auto burst, so some players might not love the burst effect, the slight delay that's in between bullets there, but this thing's point and shoot. If you know the bullet drop, the bullet lead that you have to do with the velocity here, I mean, you're gonna be set. This thing is one of my favorite feeling guns in the game right now. It really has the opportunity to just erase some players when you're landing the entire burst back to back. So here again, I'm rocking that Lethal Tools Elo sight on there. Can't change it, gotta use it. Monolithic suppressor once more for that better velocity and that better range. I also go for the long barrel in this case, which helps out with magazine ammo capacity instead of an actual extended mag, and better damage range. So we got a 1068 velocity, pretty solid all things considered there. 56 meter effective damage range, which is great, and then a 75 meter mid range there too. We also go for the mobile recoil foregrip, better horizontal control, so it just makes the pattern a little bit more predictable and tight there, and then also better movement speed. So this is going to be even more of an aggressive option here. And then I like the movement stock yet again for the better ADS and the better strafe on there, just because this thing is so straightforward and so easy to use. Don't feel like I have to use recoil springs or I have to use a quick draw rear grip. You could also go for something like overpressured here, up that velocity even more instead of the stock if you wanted that style of play. Either way, the Maverick's holding its own. All right, a little bit of post-edit Zach here, because in the time since I recorded this video a few days back, we did see a slight meta update go live that adjusted a few different values of things here and there. It actually ended up knocking out the Kilo, which originally was going to be in this spot here, was a pretty good legacy weapon. However, it's now been replaced with the Sokol 45. This is our new LMG, the Sokol 545 rather, new LMG that's available through the Naughty and Nice event. And this thing in Warzone is pretty nice. I mean, it's a relatively low recoil, pretty much just vertical recoil LMG here. It's still an LMG, so it's a little bit slower. We got a 60 round mag on here though that speeds it up a little bit. The thing is kind of a powerhouse. Like, it's honestly pretty fun here. I really have enjoyed using it in Warzone so far. It's a solid long range choice here after you get that recoil down. So as far as the setup goes here for the optic, it's really going to be a matter of preference. Again, I'm spamming that Lethal Tools Elo, but if you wanted a 2 times or 3 times, that could be viable here as well. I am still rocking the monolithic suppressor on here for that better velocity and better damage range. Obviously also keeping us off the radar as well. With the barrel, it's going to come down to your level of comfortability. Once I'm in game, fully warmed up and everything, I really like the hybrid barrel on here just for a little bit better range and velocity. We got an 1166 velo, then a 46 meter effective damage range, a 70 meter mid range as well in there. But if you want max control here, you have a 43 meter effective damage range, 65 meter mid range, and you get a 1242 velocity and even better control. So either control barrel or hybrid here is going to be a really solid combination. I also go for the mobile foregrip just to speed things up a little bit. Like I said, it's an LMG. I want it to be a little bit more aggressive, so I'll go for the Envoy foregrip, better control but also some better movements. And then as mentioned, that 60 round fast mag, 60 rounds is plenty, and it's giving you a faster ADS and sprint to fire on there too, as well as a faster reload, which obviously is a huge deal for LMGs. So yeah, Sokol 545, really solid choice here. As is the AMAX. We talked about this one a little bit ago. This thing is actually right in the mix when it comes to general TTK with the absolute meta assault rifles from BO7. So if you're a fan of the AMAX, you're a fan of the feel of this gun, absolutely worth using right now. Here, it's gonna kind of be a copy and paste setup with the Kilo, Oturo Red Dot, or whatever optic you're comfortable with here. Monolithic suppressor, keeping us off the radar, added range, added velocity, reinforced barrel, added range, added velocity, 1260 velocity, 52 meter effective damage range, 73 meters second damage range. Can't ask for much better stats there. Vertical foregrip for that max horizontal control pattern is going to be a little bit more vertical based there, so a little bit more predictable overall. Then extended mag 1, 45 rounder on a 632 RPM. Works fine for really all squad sizes there. You could again upgrade to extended 2 if you're okay with the slowdowns there. Personally, I don't feel like the added ADS speed there or anything like that is all that necessary. I can get the job done with 45 just fine, and this thing will pack a punch and it'll feel really good for a non-BO7 weapon. And then lastly here, we've got the AK-27, another just pretty consistent choice all around. This thing is basically going to be good everywhere through and through. It's one of the more consistent TTK lines that we've got in the game as it sort of evolves over range, and it's the AK. It's naturally going to feel like it's pretty strong, pretty powerful, and that holds true in execution. So here, for one last time today, I've got the ELO sight on there. We also have monolithic suppressor, and I go for the control barrel here as well. This thing does have some noticeable bounce, especially over longer range, so getting that added control here I do think is a pretty big deal. Plus that added velocity is never a bad thing. We got a 1248 velo, 45 meter effective damage range at 62 meter mid range there. Max horizontal control with the recoil control foregrip on here, and then extended mag 1, yet again 45 rounder on a 682 RPM. If you wanted to upgrade to extended 2, you could, but keep in mind once more it will slow you down a little bit more as far as like your ADS and your reload speed goes there. So a pretty standard again rifle setup, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This is getting the job done quite nicely as well. Really, this long range meta has a lot of very different choices. A lot of the builds might be similar, but the actual application of these guns and how they feel and how they behave are all quite different here, which I think is pretty cool. I think it keeps gameplay pretty fresh. If you guys enjoyed the video though, do me a favor, drop a like on it, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button on your way out to stay up to date with all things going on in COD. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.